If you are a parent, you need to have an estate plan, whether you have children that are under the age of 18 that are minors, or maybe you have children with special needs. All of these will require some type of estate plan from you to make sure that if something were to happen to you, your children would be protected and your wishes would be carried out for them. When creating an estate plan, it's important to nominate legal guardians for your minor children. So again, anybody that's under the age of 18 would need to have guardianship that's going to allow them that if something happened to you, these are people that you would want to be able to be guardians for your minor children. Whether it's guardian of their person, right, of them personally, or guardian of their estate, that means their property or their assets that they're entitled to. Either way, you should have some type of guardianship nomination, because without this, the court has no idea who you would actually want to be guardians for your minor children. So you have a very stressful and emotional situation where a court is deciding without any input from you. Please nominate guardians for your minor children to make sure that your wishes are legally documented and the court knows what you want. If you have a child with special needs, it's important to make sure that you have an estate plan that carries out how to care for those children. Having an estate plan isn't necessarily about having a specific one for them as a special needs. It's creating your own estate plan that in your estate plan, there are special needs provisions to be able to provide for your child if something were to happen to you. It's almost like you have within your plan this secondary trust, or we might refer to it as a subtrust, that only springs into action if something were to happen to you. And that trust that springs into action, that special needs trust, makes sure that your children with special needs are taken care of so that they can continue to get the benefits that they need. Just because they now have this inheritance, it's not going to be taken away from them. Sometimes you may find that you have family members that may be more vulnerable to certain situations of other family members. Maybe that they are ways to sway them as to giving up part of their money, or, paying for costs of things, not really knowing what can happen as a result. When you are creating your estate plan, if you do have this concern that maybe some family members may be able to take more from other family members, you can actually create this in your plan to help protect them, to put certain criteria around how they're going to receive their money, or what they need to do, or how that money that's going to be held for them to keep them protected. Because this is money that's going to be there to care for them. You want to make sure that it's protected from any creditors that's coming in, or any other family members that you think may not be up to what is actually for their best benefit of the family member you're trying to protect. When you have minor children, estate planning is so important. Having a trust allows you to say that if something were to happen to you, and I know as a mom, this is the hardest part about estate planning. You never want to think about not being there with your children. But if you don't have a plan in place, you have a court making a decision for you that you have no input on. So by having a trust, and let's say you have a life insurance that goes into that trust as a beneficiary, where your kids are the beneficiaries of your trust, well, they can receive that life insurance at ages that you set, maybe 25, 30, 35, right? Really extending how that money is going to be distributed through them rather than having to go through probate court. It also allows you to provide for them for health, education, maintenance, and support. So at any time throughout their life, the trustee of your trust, again, only if something happened to you, would be there to be able to say, okay, this is something that they should be cared for. They are allowed to use this money pursuant to the terms of the trust.